Hi, I'm Capt.Doug Stanford with Texas Fish Tips. This is your weekly fishing report. All right, good old Fina Docks. Early in the morning, we've been catching some nice reds out here on shrimp, live finger mullet, and croaker. There's some good reds, there's some slotsy, some oversized. They quit about 9 o'clock in the morning, so you might as well move on. There is some hardheads mixed in there if you're using shrimp, but you do catch more redfish, and there's a few trout mixed in there with them, and there's some mangroves. Also down these little pilings down through here on the Harbor Island, right down through here, the same way there's been some redfish hanging out right through there as well. It's not as strong a current there, but there is some good fish. Now, get out on the end of them jetties. Either side, north side, either side, or that south side, either one, there's been lots of redfish. They move back and forth. They're not in one spot every time. So if you get out there, try a spot. If they're not there, come back to it later. They may be back in there. But they've been eating shrimp, they've been eating mullet. If you happen to catch a bunch of finger mullet, which you can catch those along these rocks or these jetties, especially on the north side of these north jetties, there's been a lot of mullet going through there. And that's where you take them over here and drop them down. You can catch some bull reds or a lot of slot reds mixed in there with it. There's Spanish mackerel, blues, all kinds of fish in there. Pompano, just about everything you can possibly think of. There's still a few tarpon hanging around out here. But get out here and get after them. There's some good fish in there. All right, these rocks right over here, we call it old McDermott right down in here, this big point right here. Anywhere's back through here's holding mangroves. There's some redfish in here. They're all getting concentrated right here as they're going out the jetties. But there's a lot of good fish right here in this whole area. There's a little rock jetty right here. If you like mangrove snapper, get you some shrimp. Get out there with a split shot and get after it. There's thousands of them around through here. Also, if you want to throw some free-line shrimp or croaker, there is some nice trout all down this whole bank down this way. Not only that, along these rocks down through here has been holding some mangroves. There's been redfish, there's been trout, just everything else. And they all like that shrimp, but also that live croaker or free-line mullet, either one. But there's been a lot of good fish down through here. If you're going down the end of Point of Mustang, these rocks down through has been holding some mangroves as well. Not quite as many, but there's still some pretty good ones. There's some rocks right here on the Point of Mustang's been holding some trout and mangroves. There's a lot more there. We're catching them on shrimp as well. And this little rock jetty right here at the end of Point of Pelican Island has been catching a lot of trout. There's a few skipjack mixed in there, and there's a lot of mangroves mixed in if you use shrimp. Croaker catches you bigger trout. All right, way over here by Allen's Bight. San Jose Island, this whole area right down through is holding nice redfish and trout. The deeper waters catching some trout. Use croaker. Freeline croaker's been working pretty good over in this area. Now, if you want some redfish, they're right up on these banks, right down through here. They're up the shallower water, down through here, even on the inside here, especially this little point right here has been holding some good redfish. But anywhere down through here, it's really good wade fishing down through here. And there's this little fish shack back here. Right out behind it has been holding some black drum. They'll be right in the edge of that grass. Get you some shrimp. If you can find them pink fish bites, put it on the hook. They like that. But there's some really good drum down through here. You just have to move your trolling motor back and forth and find them out, but they're here. All right, these good old wells out here on Corpus Christi Bay. Any of them, pick one. There'll be 2 or 3 trout on each one. Go pick them up. Live shrimp and catching everything. Croaker catches them too. You'll catch 2 or 3 and move on to the next one. Keep on. They're not as thick as they were on the trout, but they're still there. If you get out on these rocks and old T-heads right down through here, throwing shrimp, there's some black drum, there's mangroves, there's trout, just about everything else down through here, and there's occasional redfish. Get over here on this Nueces Bridge right here in this deeper channel right here. That's where I've been fishing. You'll see me in that shade about 11, 10 o'clock. It's nice to get in that shade. There's some nice black drum. There's mangroves and occasional redfish. We're catching a few nice trout mixed in there. We're catching most of those on shrimp. Use dead shrimp, you catch a lot more drum than you do the live shrimp. And you don't have all the hardheads as bad. But anywhere down there has been holding some nice drum. Just be careful. There is pilings in between those columns from the old bridge. And you will hit a trolling motor on it, but just be careful. There is some good fish in here. Now, if you get all the way down on Portland shoreline, these old piers down there is holding some black drum. Find those legs, even the new ones down through there, and just throw some shrimp up there, and there'll be some scattered black drum in there. There'll be an occasional redfish, and there's also some trout still out here. Same way these rocks from along these plants down here, these new plants, Chenier and all these others, You can get up in there and throw on those rocks. There's pretty good trout. Croaker's the best way to catch him, but there's also some big old mangroves.
Watching, I'm Capt.Doug Stanford.